It is known as one of the most infamous islands on the planet, Little St. James, or as many call it, Epstein Island. 72 acres of raw luxury lay hidden in the Caribbean. Private resorts, libraries, theaters, and even its own secluded docks. It was a paradise for the world's wealthiest, at least that's what it looked like on the surface. Because behind the facade of parties and vacations, something horrifying was taking place: the abuse and exploitation of underage girls. Reports later revealed that beneath the island's glamorous grounds were underground tunnels, allegedly built with a purpose. Some say the tunnels were used by staff to move unseen beneath the guests. Others claim they were secret escape routes designed for Epstein's powerful visitors. For years, those who suffered, young girls and their parents, remained silent in terror. No one dared to confront the men whose names were whispered across Wall Street and the White House. But in March 2005, the silence broke. A young girl named Courtney Wild walked into the Palm Beach police station and filed the first official report against Jeffrey Epstein. The evidence shocked investigators: photographs, flight logs, documents, and the names of global elites tied to Epstein's world. These materials later became known as the Epstein Files. But who exactly was Jeffrey Epstein? How did a simple math teacher from New York transform into one of the world's most mysterious billionaires? And what did the FBI discover on his secret island beyond those underground tunnels? Finally, how did he die in one of the most secure jails in America, the same night all the CCTV cameras mysteriously failed? Welcome to Global Map Stories, where we explore the untold truth behind one of humanity's darkest legends. Jeffrey Epstein began as a tutor at the Dalton School in the 1970s, but his true treasure map led him to Wall Street. He won the trust of billionaires like Leslie Wexner, the owner of Victoria's Secret, and soon began managing their vast fortunes. Money brought him power, and power brought him access. He built an empire of mansions from New York to Florida, bought luxury jets, and constructed a lavish lifestyle. But behind all that extravagance was a dark empire built on exploitation. To the world, he was a billionaire. In reality, he was a predator. Epstein owned mansions in Manhattan, a vast ranch in New Mexico, luxury apartments in Paris, but his true kingdom was Little St. James Island, the 72-acre private paradise. He traveled there aboard his private jet, the aircraft the media nicknamed the Lolita Express. So what really happened on that island? Witnesses say that powerful global figures visited the property, from politicians to royals, and that underage girls were exploited there. Among Epstein's highest-profile contacts were Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and even members of the British royal family. Clinton reportedly flew on Epstein's jet 26 times. Trump, who lived nearby in Florida during the 1990s, was once a friend before turning sharply against Epstein. Trump later claimed he had never set foot on the island. But one of the most shocking chapters emerged from Britain's royal family. Prince Andrew was accused by Virginia Giuffre, who said Epstein arranged for her to be abused at age 17. Their photographs swept across the world, triggering scandal and the prince's fall from royal duty. He eventually lost his titles and paid a multi-million-dollar settlement in 2025. From Bill Gates to Hollywood legends, Epstein's network stretched through every layer of high society. When the FBI raided his properties, they found CDs and photos that suggested a blackmail operation. Yet to this day, the so-called client list officially remains sealed. Everything started unraveling with Courtney Wild's courage in 2005. The police uncovered dozens of victims, each telling the same story: manipulation, deceit, and abuse. By 2008, justice should have been clear, but what happened next became one of the biggest judicial scandals in US history. Federal attorney Alexander Acosta quietly brokered a secret plea deal with Epstein's powerful lawyers. Victims were kept in the dark. Epstein escaped with just 18 months in jail, and even there he was treated as a VIP. He spent his days working from his office and slept in his cell only at night. After 13 months he was free again. The deal protected not just Epstein, but his circle of influential friends, but his arrogance would ultimately destroy him. By 2010, rumors resurfaced and journalists reopened the case. By 2018, a major investigation titled Perversion of Justice exposed how the system had shielded a criminal. Public outrage exploded, and then, on July 6, 2019, Jeffrey Epstein was arrested again. This time there was no deal to save him. He was denied bail, and the powerful world began to panic. What if he talked? But before the trial even began, on August 10, 2019, Epstein was found dead in his Manhattan jail cell. Officially, it was a suicide, but the facts didn't add up. The cameras malfunctioned, the guards were asleep, and he had been quietly removed from suicide watch hours before. Across America, people chanted, "Epstein didn't kill himself." Was he silenced to protect the world's most powerful men? No one knows, but his death only deepened the mystery. After Epstein's death, attention turned to his closest associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, daughter of British media mogul Robert Maxwell. She was allegedly Epstein's partner and recruiter, enticing young girls with promises of money and jobs. She was arrested in July 2020 in a hidden New Hampshire estate. By 2022, a New York court sentenced her to 20 years in prison, calling her role a crime against children's innocence. Following Epstein's death, his wealth fund was used to compensate victims. Over 150 survivors have received more than $121 million, and yet the Epstein Files continue to shake world politics. In 2024, US politicians promised to release classified documents. By 2025, under a new administration, the Epstein Files Transparency Act set a deadline for full disclosure. When some email records were finally revealed, one alias caught the world's attention: the Invisible Man. Behind that codename was allegedly Prince Andrew, once again tied to Epstein's circle. The 20,000 pages of new emails built fresh controversy, linking influential names and reviving questions about who was truly being protected. The December 2025 deadline arrived, and still hundreds of thousands of documents remain hidden. Courts and governments now wrestle between revealing the truth and protecting privacy. Jeffrey Epstein is gone, but his shadow still hangs over the world's most powerful men. Prince Andrew lost his titles and dignity. Ghislaine Maxwell serves her sentence behind bars, and millions around the world still demand answers. One silent cry from a young girl in 2005 became a global fight for justice, the biggest corruption scandal of modern history. During the raid on Little St. James Island, the FBI found odd structures, a blue and white temple-like building, statues scattered across the ground, and CCTV cameras everywhere. Were they for security or blackmail? No one can say. They also found underground utility tunnels, their purpose still unclear. Hormonal medications were discovered too, raising new questions about what was really happening there. Had Epstein lived, perhaps he would have been forced to tell the truth behind those walls. Maybe that was the very reason he never did. The Epstein Files continue to unfold. New names will emerge, new truths will break through old lies. But one lesson remains clear: money and power can hide crime, but never erase it. Justice may move slowly, but it never stops. This is Global Map Stories, reminding you that behind every map, every place, and every story lies a truth that the world needs to hear.